Hello, I'm Rayan from the clique.
The clique.
Hi, I'm just a humble guy that sells mobile phones.
And I'm Ivan.
And tonight, we debrief week 2 on Traitors UK. Welcome to episode 39 of It's Just a Game. Hello and welcome to episode 39 of It's Just a Game, the podcast where we watch reality TV so you don't have to. In every episode, we go over the juicy gossip, the crazy moves, and the most iconic moments of your favorite reality TV shows. This week, we're back to the Traitors UK Series 3. We've been there, done that, and got a t-shirt, and we're here to share our takes on some mad moves. My name is Rayan, and I would like to have your card on the right. Ivan, please.
That was not my card. Sorry, mate.
Well, joining me is the guy who, according to Twitter, is still playing the game, doing podcasts as if he won it. Ivan, you've heard him. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a lovely week, hasn't it? That was a very, very interesting trio of episodes. 4 and 6, some of the best there is. 5, run-of-the-mill. But yeah, 6 really, really hit a pace. Can't wait to talk about it.
Solid week. And according to Harry from the Traitors, the second best traitor ever, Wilf. Hello, Wilf. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going to fight that guy in the boxing ring one day. Is that what he said?
I don't know. I'll be there. I'll be one of your boxing girls just holding the round numbers.
Yeah, be a ring girl, Ryan.
Well, let's get into them then. We are entering a spoiler zone. If you have seen episodes 1 to 6 of the Traitors UK, you can stay right here. If you've not, there will be spoilers ahead. And if you don't care about that, because this is the podcast where we watch reality TV so you don't have to, Ivan is here to summarize the whole thing for you. Ivan, let's have you.
Right, close your eyes, everyone. I'm going to tell you the story of the last 3 episodes. You won't even have to watch it. It's going to be so beautifully done. Here we go. Episode 4. Maya is murdered. Suspicion now pours on soaped-up Freddie. Reverend Lisa suspects Irish Anna because she wasted time in the boat mission. Something about not knowing how to tie a rope. Tyler and Leon still lead the way on Kasim. Today's mission is basically a big vending machine, but you buy people, namely people who've left the train. Fozia and Alexander are chosen to join the group as faithfuls, but Mullet Jack, who is proud to be big, is the first player in UK Traitors to be eliminated without being banished or murdered. The new players get a shield to give out later. Kasim is getting excluded from conversations because he's not trusted. It's sad. A tearful Freddie escapes banishment, but Dr. Kaz falls under the weight of suspicion. He gone! The fallout is huge. Tyler changed from Freddie to Kasim today, and everyone hates that. Tyler's in trouble. The traitors choose the messiness of shields to recruit. They try to recruit Anna, episode 5. She says no, though, because she said in the previous day, I'll never be a traitor. And the traitors are deflated. Not literally. That's what balloons are. At breakfast, Anna holds on to the secret. Why does she hold on to the secret? We don't know. Suspicion falls on Tyler, Lisa, and Linda again. The mission is Hallow Scream at York Maze with Theo. Leon and Leanne get a shield for getting through first. Freddie gets in hot water again, naming the clique of Leon, Leanne, Livy, and Tyler. Livy and Freddie get in a proper row, but Freddie is persuasive, and now think the call is coming from inside the house. They're going for Tyler. Leon ditches the Freddie theory and goes for his clique mate Tyler instead. Kyle says he's only still in the game because Linda's a traitor. Correct. Mina leads an attack on Lisa, joined by Francesca and Charlotte, but it's not enough. Tyler is banished in a landslide. Livy rushes out, still adamant it's Freddie. Oh, Livy! We see Dan sucked in by Mina's friendship. She's so well hidden. Kyle is like a dog with a bone on Linda. Not literally, that's what dogs are with a bone. She'll never get clear of him. Lisa comes out as a priest to prove herself as a faithful. Then finally, Anna tells Charlotte she was seduced. And the traitors deliberate between murdering Fozia, Anna, and Livy. Episode 6. Livy is murdered, pouring yet more suspicious on poor Freddie. Linda has a fake cry, and literally nobody is convinced. Like breakfast itself, she's toast. And Dan wonders why he's still here. Is it someone he's close to, like Mina? The task is complicated, but if you saw Squid Game: The Challenge, just go to the challenge near the end where they're sitting in a circle with exam desks. It's that challenge. But it's got culty dressing on top, like a really weird salad. Lisa is caught lying. Ooh, Mina is upset about getting treacled, and while Leanne owns up, Dan doesn't, losing Mina's trust. At the round table, Anna finally reveals her recruitment and names the players who were accusing her before. Now then, quiet. Linda is accused by Kyle and fake cries again. They weren't even close. Dan is forced to admit he gunged Francesca and Mina, having lied to them both. Mina announces she can never trust him again. Dan loses the vote and loses the group's trust. And now there's a MIPS mission. MIPS, murder in plain sight. They must steal a quill, select 4 faithful and write their names on a portrait in the bar. Leon, Alexander, Fozia and Anna are driven to a cemetery and must play deathmatch, which is the same as Fortune Hotel. Anna and Alexander go free. Fozia and Leon are still sat at the table with the traitors revealed to be approaching through the dark grass. And that is where, I'm so sorry, that may be 10 minutes. That's where we are now.
In fairness, a lot happened in these 3 episodes. Yeah. I mean, Jesus. We'll get into it. We'll take it step by step. But the first general point I really want to make, this is my first complaint of the series, and it has to be said, it's just a game.
Yeah.
It's just a bloody game. Look, I love Twitter, and I spend so much time on Twitter during these episodes, but some people take it so far. They are all players in a very high-pressure environment, playing a very crazy game for your entertainment, and none of them deserve some of the hate they've been getting on social media. I've talked to a lot of them. They're all really lovely people. We all have. And I wanted to start the episode with that.
Being in a castle, playing a game, to being out on the street or at a workplace is very, very different. So if you're ignoring someone in the castle because you feel guilty because you're about to end their experience and it's hard to have a conversation with them, that's okay to be able to just be like, oh, actually, and just trying to avoid them. And you naturally try to do it because it's a hard discussion to have.
I think when Cass was excluded from the room, they needed to strategize, and it was about him. If you did that in real life, yeah, that's horrible. That's victimization. And I think people were accusing some of the players of bullying Cass. But I think if you look at it in context, I mean, only really Cass can tell us whether he was okay with this. But I think while it would have felt awful at the time, I think it was part of the game. It was part of the strategy. You know, really, these people were just trying to win the game. And if there's one thing we've seen through these past 3 episodes, you don't get a chance to act normally. Everything you do is being scrutinized, but also everything you do is in a heightened, stressful situation. So it's not fair to put our normal levels of judgment about what is and isn't socially acceptable onto the frame of the traitors. We're seeing people behaving in ways that could be construed as rude if it were normal life. Yeah. It's not. The number of times they say it's just a game in these past 3 episodes, guys, if you're watching the show well enough, you should be listening to them because it is. And if they're okay with it, then you should be okay with it.
And you know, that's what I said all week. I mean, I experienced effectively a very similar thing on my last day. It became a very sort of lonely castle because you can feel, it's what I say in the episode, you can feel the walls closing in on you. You can feel your name is on people's lips, but you never really hear it. But that's just part of the game. And that's what the game does to you. And I think that's completely fine. You know, after that, you've got 6 months to think about it and you all end up being good friends. And I think that's what they are. So remember, it's just a game, but we appreciate all the players, especially the ones who've plugged the podcast by saying it's just a game, their exit speech. Thank you for the advert.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Wow, amazing. So even Dan today, like, he wanted to choose that important moment in his life to plug our podcast. And Cass, thanks. And Tyler, thank you guys. But honestly, like, it means so much to us.
It means a lot. Now let's get into the thick of it and let's go back to episode 4.
Yeah.
First thing that happens in that episode is the murder victim is revealed. Maya goes, the second sister is gone. Was that the right choice? It felt inevitable. We all said it last time.
Yeah.
I think it was the right choice, but would anyone disagree?
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely correct. I think the murders were spot on. Maya was the right, and I think we discussed it last week, right? But she'd be a great recruit if you wanted her to win. But why would you recruit somebody to win? So yeah, you got to get rid. The
only interesting that does come out of this, I think, murder is that now people are insisting Freddy is a traitor because he pointed the finger at Maya.
and Libby.
I mean, look, this logic comes back every year, but it doesn't. It's just surely it's too obvious, guys. Come on, like, because the thing is, I think a traitor is unlikely to be double bluffing because they will be a lot more conscious of the risk that it could be seen to be double bluffing, and then it puts a target on the traitor's back.
I don't know how you can stay ahead of the prevailing thought here, because if everyone assumes it's not the case, then you do start double bluffing. And basically, I think what we can learn from this is you can't learn much from the murders because there's just too many reasons why you might or might not murder someone, and you don't have to listen to any of those.
Still interesting to see Freddy was under fire throughout these episodes, and this will come back. And then we've got a mission. What a great mission. 3 people get off the rail replacement bus. It only took 5 days for them to get there. You know, art imitates life. And they have to decide who they free up. Can I just take a moment for Jack? Poor Jack, because he seemed really interesting. Like,
he seemed big.
He seemed big. he can swim, apparently.
He likes money.
He was the one who was actually in the traitor's cloak, you know, when they made the mission. When Gary Barlow said it was him.
It was Jack. I'm big.
Look, the man is lovely, and I actually wish we'd seen more of him. But that speech sort of sealed his fate, didn't it? Like, because also, like, he couldn't have known, but he came in making that whole speech about how the others were like, "We'll help you find traitors," and he was like, "I will help you build the prize spot." And he couldn't have known that they didn't give a shit about the prize spot. They've been leaving money on barges for the past 3 days.
He didn't get the pitch, did he? Bless him.
Would you have tried to get anyone else down from there?
I think I would have went for Fozia and I would have went for Alexander. I think Alexander, the way he... But then, if I was a traitor, I wouldn't want to go for Alexander, just for the fact...
That's my problem.
He'd be scary to go out at the table, I think.
He is.
Because he's so calm and he's conflict resolution person. I don't know what it's called, but... Yeah, that just scares me if I was a traitor. So he's a dark horse.
Did anyone watch that episode with enough, with a fine-toothed enough comb to see if either of the traitors actually put any coins in Alexander's slot? I would have, as a faithful in that game, would have immediately been like, okay, let's watch who doesn't put coins in that particular slot.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I think Alexander was too much of a threat, and if you're a traitor, you do not want to be putting money there. But maybe if you realise that it becomes unavoidable, you start putting that money in there anyway, just so that people don't trace it back to you and say, interesting, why would you not want Alexander to come back?
It's a lot of data to hold, though. It's a bit like breakfast arrivals. Like, now people know about that. That's kind of a bit mattery, even though, as all of UK's newspapers have picked up, I have disproven this theory. Thanks, UK press. Appreciate that. But you know, there's so much data going around. You can't pick it all up. And I think especially when you're running around doing like weird sort of like forest trekking to pick up £50 coins, which we have in the UK, it's a bit too much. But I think Alexander proved his worth because immediately came back in, and after the round table came up with a not necessarily original but a good strategy to split the shield between 3 people in order to protect lots of people. He could have done better though, right? He could have said, I'm going to split it between one of you 3. I'm not going to tell you which of the 3 I give it to, and then given it to a 4th person.
That's cool.
And by giving it to a 4th person, he could have tested that 4th person to see if they were a traitor or not. That 4th person may have, the way they acted, may have been very interesting in terms of killing into those 3 or who tried to kill that 4th person. So I probably would have taken that and taken it one step further.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting strategy. I hadn't thought of that. That's why we pay you the big bucks for.
Do you know what? Are they £50 coins you pay me? Because the postman's always jangling when he walks away from my house, and I don't know what's going on.
I'm afraid you can only redeem them at the Bank of Claudia, which unfortunately has not received its Financial Conduct Authority accreditation. So we've lost the money. Sorry.
Oh no.
But look, let's get out of the chronology here for a second then and start focusing on maybe what I think is really an overarching theme of these 3 episodes, and that's the faithfuls moving a little bit mad at every round table. Every time we came into one of these round tables, except for Kaz getting banished, I was quite surprised by the discussion that took place in the outcome. You know, in the first round table, Anna's under fire because her docking skills aren't up to scratch for Captain Francesca. And then the entire episode 5 has got this completely unhinged moment about the clique. Thank you for the clicks, slightly delayed. But we had this insane infighting. And I think, are we approaching an Australian Series 2 scenario? And I'm sorry for the spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, you're a year late. A lot of personal infighting that results in the faithful just going after each other, the traitors getting to just sit back, enjoy the ride, and you end in a final with loads of traitors and not many faithfuls. Is this where we're going, Wilf?
Do you know what? I think this is what's happening, right? You know when you come back from a mission and then you have that time to talk before you go to the round table, I feel like they have nothing because we don't know how long they're spending talking, but I remember at one point it was like round table time, and I'm like, who are you going for? Why are you going for this person? Like, and just jumping onto whatever you can, and that's what it feels like. They're going around the table and just mad theories are coming out, and they're just like, yep, let's banish. And meanwhile, Mina is just sitting there going, this is great. This is,
Calm down. Yeah. Okay. Is I agree with that. Is some of it also that the missions have a bit more bite to them this season? Not all of them. Sometimes it is just clowns. But
did you say Theo in your breakdown? Say Theo is a clown. He does
because before the show came out, me and Matt and a bunch of my friends went to York May's Hallow Scream event and saw Theo doing his spooky maze man. He was actually in drag. It was great. It was fantastic. We all went. It was a lovely day out. It was spooky as heck. It reminded me of that. I was like, that's why I said Theo. But I also remembered that like you haven't just had my experiences.
We just thought you were calling him a clown.
Oh God, no! I just sometimes forget that not everyone. It's not the Truman Show, and not everyone just knows my life inside and out. So I just think like, because the missions have a little more edge and a lot of them have social deduction or social strategy elements in them, there's a little bit more bile coming out of those situations. Like a couple of times in this series, they've come back separately in separate cars in order for them to have those rows back in the castle. And I think that's good for TV, but it's bad for cohesion. And what it does mean is that people bring their dirty laundry a little bit to the table. But also, it's always faithfuls getting out faithfuls. It's just, as you say, maybe moving a little bit more mad than it normally is in terms of people bringing actual humps to the table rather than just suspicions.
It is moving madder.
But people do claim they have evidence sometimes, and it makes me laugh. They're like, I have a little bit of evidence, and I'm like, you don't.
Well, they do have evidence. The only person they have evidence against is Linda, and they keep not voting for her. Oh my God, how does she get away with it? Let's get into it. I mean, come on. The acting is horrid. Like,
the editing of that when she did a fake cry and she was like, oh no. I just loved her. And then it cuts to her. It cuts to her in the piece to camera, and she's like, bit of theatre.
Before she smashed it. It's so funny.
It's because she was not in opera where everything is like hugely overacted and melodramatic.
And do you know what made me laugh is in this season so far, everybody that's been in like a MIV has gone, yeah, I pulled that right off. And then you cut to it and everyone's like that. Like even with Marnie and like, loads of people, they're like, yeah, it's definitely her.
Tyler being like, I'm safe tonight. Yep. This is easy for me. Can't wait.
Bye.
5 minutes later.
Look, but you got to applaud on that note the opposite of Linda's acting, which is Mina's acting, because she actually sheds tears at this last round table in episode 6. There are real tears. Well, they're fake tears, but there is actual liquid coming out of her eyes.
I think they're a bit of both. I think when you're from Liverpool, you have this like real bond, right? And I think she was actually quite upset that he lied to her because they have that bond, even though she's lying the whole time. I do think she's acting at parts, but the real emotion's coming out at times through that specific round table, I think, anyway.
It is possible the liquid coming out of her eyes was like a mixture of ketchup and molasses or whatever they made that weird syrup out of.
Yeah, it's like I love how she was most angry about that challenge because of her hair. And you know what? Like, fair, I get it. Like,
yeah, Ryan, you spend hours on your hair, don't you?
I spend hours on my hair. Yeah, just
let's get back to Linda. I think that she has to go, man. Like, she has to. It's so bait as well. And some of her like the table. It's just, I like her though.
Her luck's going to run out.
Yeah, but look, why do you want to get rid of her if you know she's a traitor? This is the thing that I was trying so hard to do in season 1, as you were, Ryan, right? The two faithfuls in this call both knew it was Amanda from day 1, right? We didn't tell anyone because we're like, if you know who a traitor is, you watch them and track them to the next one. If you know it's a traitor, which if like Kyle knows it's her, as does Fozia, as do other people, don't get rid of her. Just watch her, follow her, see where her trail leads. Like following an injured fox back to its den.
But her trail's not leading anywhere at one point, just for the numbers. At that point, I would have done it. Not because because I know she's not going to bring me back to Mina. Clearly, they're like, Mina's
What do
too
you
good
mean
for
do
that.
it for numbers? They're going to get to recruit again. You can't do it for numbers.
Exactly, and they might be recruiting me then at that point.
Oh, I see.
That's what's the whole benefit of banishing Alyssa. You know, the prospect that maybe they could be recruiting in the air.
That's true.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So banish traitors to get recruited. Okay,
I mean, I think that's one way of playing the game. But I accept that, yeah, maybe some of them actually do appreciate it, and are just counting their days down. And, you know, if they can keep her until the last episode when they don't get told anymore who's a traitor, who's the faithful, probably a safe one to keep to the end.
Yeah, keep her in a pocket for a rainy day.
Yeah, I'm a priest.
Are you? Okay, can we talk about that revelation, how it literally just went down? Like, it was 20 seconds of dramatic music, then I'm an Anglican ordained priest, and then we never heard about it again.
You're like, cool.
Hey, listen,
Work in a shop.
the funniest thing is, right, is the fact that, you know, imagine this, it would never happen apart from on this show. Like, you know, when you start workplace gossip, like, when Maddie said she was an actress, right, we'd walk around and go, Maddie said she was an actress. Like, imagine going around going, Lisa said she was a priest. You can never see that anywhere else in the world.
But you know what killed me is that then in the next challenge, in episode 6, she gets asked if she's the one responsible for, like, getting molasses on somebody's head, and she just, like, no. And then we see her in the diary room going, well, I had to give a little white lie. That's not a little white lie. You were asked if it was you. It was you. You said no. It's just a straight out lie. What do you mean? Do you think Jesus doesn't see the myths?
Jesus only sees what happens in public. It's fine. Oh, God. What does she think a white lie is?
I'm not entirely sure. The other really interesting part with Lisa as well is that she's solidified herself as a faithful, ironically. I mean, they believe her. So I think she almost sealed her death warrant here in doing that. She's now inevitably going to get murdered because nobody's going to vote the priest out.
She said as much at breakfast to Linda, who was like, okay, I'll murder you next.
She's like, okay, I'll murder... Oh, sorry, the traitors will murder you next.
You can imagine Claudia going in and going, guys, you have to be very careful. You got rid of another faithful. And the traitors, and when she says it, go, yes! Breakfast table.
Just coming.
The other interesting bit about the round table, I think that's the last really good bit from the round table, and it ties into that stupid challenge, that sort of like mini game of werewolf, which was cute. Like, why did they get so obsessed about the bloody marking? And like I know Dan was playing it in like a selfish way, and he probably didn't have any good reason to keep the lie once the shield was gone. But why did Francesca get so upset about the fact that Dan was lying about it? And why would the fact he'd be lying about it instantly mean as a traitor? You're playing the traitors. You've seen 2 series before that. You know a shit ton of people are in there lying about random things, lying about being Welsh, lying about having a dog or whatever. Like, why are you getting so obsessed by that? And it brought down Dan when they could have got Linda. Like, it was such a missed opportunity, Ivan.
If I was Dan, I would be highly pissed off at this point because, yeah, he's been caught in a lie that hurt people's feelings. None of that links up with being a traitor. And as you say, everyone goes on the show being like, yeah, I can lie. That's the whole point. But also, what I found amazing about Dan on that final day, and the thing I think that sealed his fate more than he got caught in a lie, was he was happy to admit he was playing a selfish game. We saw it after the mission where Kyle said you're being selfish on the boat. And then we saw it again in this episode where he said, yeah, of course, it's not a team game. You've heard me say this 100,000 times. It is not a team game. What pissed me off here was that after he got banished, someone, I think Leanne, was like, he said it was a selfish game, and that's not how you play this. And it's like,
it is.
No, it is. Yeah, that's how Harry did it. That's how everyone does it. That's literally how you win this game. We've seen it in every single show. If you want to win this game, you have to abandon the idea that it's a team game. And all Dan did, he said the quiet part out loud. Maybe that was his biggest mistake, was that, yes, we all know it's a selfish game, but you have to pretend it's not.
But the thing is, I get they could have gone for him if they had nobody else in mind, but they also had a traitor staring at them in the face, and they wasted a vote. Wilf.
I think it goes back to the whole, we need to pick someone, and I don't really know, to that like cop-out vote where she didn't think. But half of them probably don't know. Like, we're seeing it. Like, obviously it's edited, so we see all these little clips of Linda. Because I remember they showed me like looking really weak, and I weren't like that all the time. It was just like little shots. So maybe half of them don't think it's Linda. So I think some of them are just like, oh, Dan's lied. Let's just go with that.
It's not a very impressive show from the Faithfuls, but I think it is a very impressive show from Mina, who sees this happening, spots the opportunity, calls out Dan for the sake of, well, maybe she feels a bit betrayed, but also for the sake of putting him in the spotlight, and absolutely lances him. Once again, masterful play. Like, she is doing a brilliant job. Halfway through the season, MVP, no question. She's doing great.
Yeah.
What's really interesting, though, is that Mina does keep going in the right direction, following the crowd in the right moments. And at times, it did mean in episode 4 or 5, slightly allowing the name of Linda to be floated. And other times, it means following the crowd, like we've seen here, going after Dan.
And protecting Linda.
And protecting Linda in the process. But in the Traitors, we often actually see people being accused of being traitors because they keep following the crowd. So do we think eventually that is actually going to play in Mina's disfavor? Could this be her downfall, the way she's being very reserved, sitting a little bit back?
I think personally, she's played a really, really good game, but it showed in these last 3 episodes, it's really showed us how things can change so quickly. Like, you look at how everyone was going to go at Freddie. Do you remember? Everyone was going to go at Freddie. Then all of a sudden, it changed. Within one breakfast, it all changed and everyone just forgot about it. And you never know. There's still 6 episodes. I want Mina to win, but it takes one little tiny thing that's not even evidence for people to go, that person.
I think that, yes, like, Freddie was under suspicion and has been under suspicion for a long time. But I do actually want to give some props to Freddie. I think he's played an incredible social game, surviving this long, and it isn't just out of luck. Like, the suspicion went off him through a couple of things he did. The biggest thing he did, he was signed, sealed, delivered, going to be banished in episode 5. But he sort of started to talk about this clique and made Livy angry and made Leon have to prove it wasn't a clique and made Leanne side with Leon and got rid of Tyler. Tyler's banishment was almost directly because of Freddie in the billiards room talking about this clique. Yeah. And I have to say that he is, as a politician, like, he's doing a very good job of staying just ahead of the curve. Wilf, did you have something you wanted to add to that,
yes,
mate?
I do, yeah. So basically...
Oh, good, yeah, go for it.
I think... I forgot... Wait, no, I haven't. I feel like Freddie doing that has put the traitors in more strength, though. Like, because if I was a traitor, that would be a clique that I'd want to try and disperse somehow. So Freddie's done me a favour, by making that happen, because that clique...
The clique.
Could have got stronger. It could have got stronger, though, as well. Like, the less people that are there, the more important their votes become. So Freddie did a traitor's favour, but himself a favour at the same time. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and it's not a team game, so as long as he's surviving, he's still in the game, he's doing a good job. I think he could be in for the long haul. Being that much under suspicion, they're never going to murder him. I don't think he's going to get banished anytime soon. This guy's a sticky character. Not just because he got covered in molasses during the task.
I mean, look, unfortunately, because of the way the final has been sort of amended, I think this does mean he is never winning this game. He doesn't have a chance of winning this game.
Well, same with Linda, right?
It's same for Linda. And there's a lot of people here that just could not win this game. But God, he is good. Wilf.
Leon can never win that game, mate. You know, like when he's playing the cards.
What's wrong with Leon? He's just a humble guy.
I love him, yeah. But the cards game, the faces he was pulling sometimes, and I was like, he's giving it away so much.
No, you've got to give him credit for that. I'm pretty sure in that card game was at times intentional. The way he reacted when Fausia took his life card was, to me, very clearly intentional, was a way to indicate to Alexander, especially the, are you sure? There was a way to tell Alexander, hey, see this? She's definitely taking my life card. And now I have the opportunity to save you by giving you that card. Take it. And that's what Alexander did. He got the cue. So I don't think that was bad acting from him. I genuinely think he knew what he was doing there. He had a choice to, he was not going to win that round anyway, but he had a choice to let Alexander win it. And that's what he did.
It was a really fun game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I loved it.
Have you played Don't Mess with Cthulhu? I think it's called that. It's a really fun social deduction card game, very similar to this. You've got a few cards face down in front of you on the table. You point to different cards, pick them out, and you've got to like collect treasure boxes without collecting Cthulhu. It's really, really fun. Also, we know that fortune Fortune Hotel had some of these elements with the briefcase game at the end of each
This
episode.
was Fortune Hotel, but slicker and more interesting and camper.
And better.
Well, and everyone's got 2 briefcases, and the briefcases are made of card.
And Claudia telling you, you will be dead. Not even murdered.
Yeah.
You will be
Or
dead.
just be dead.
You'll be dead. Well, actually, that's really interesting. Okay, theories, right? You know the traitors are walking through the graveyard towards the 2 of them. So one's going to get recruited, right? Because they're both going to see, they're going to see their faces, and then it's going to be like, right, these are the traitors. By the end of this scene, one of you will be dead and one of you will be a traitor. And so there's going to be some sort of like, do you think they're going to have to apply to get recruited?
Ooh.
It's going to be like, right, you've got 30 seconds to make a little appeal to the traits, give them why you'd be a good traitor. And then the other one will be dead. But the even better thing about that is the traitors didn't realize that's what they were picking for.
Oh, that's amazing.
They picked people they wanted to murder, not recruit. So actually forcing the traits to take, I don't know why I'm calling them traits now, but there is a Z. I'm imagining it with a Z. Forcing the big traities, the big T's to have to recruit someone they wanted to murder would be super fun. And I'm pretty sure that's what's about to happen.
And if that doesn't happen and BBC are listening to it and they want to use that idea, they'll be like, Ivan, you've ruined it.
No! You've ruined it.
You ruined it.
Now they've got to get everyone on a plane to Scotland, reshoot the way this ends, and reshoot the entire rest of the series because you've killed it, Ivan.
Yes, thanks, Ivan. You ruined it.
Ruined it, Ivan. Ivan, you ruined it. I'm having to mark my words because I did that whole thing of like 10 predictions, tell 10 things they should do, and I now feel really guilty because whatever happens in the next 10 series, I can just retweet that, be like, told you, I don't. It's like it's so.
Oh, that's so funny. You'd be like, can I have some royalties, please?
Yeah.
But then again, that is why any self-respecting person who decides to go on the Traitors should have listened to the entirety, all 39 episodes of It's Just a Game. I mean, there is no better way to prepare for it, is there?
Yeah, well, some of them have, I think.
I just wanted to throw in one little thing. I'm really happy that we're getting to see everybody now. Like the first 3 episodes, I think we didn't get to see anyone. We sort of seen the peacock a little bit more than some other people.
And I didn't say a word. I was like, poor Anna.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, we're seeing everyone now, which is great. So, yeah, it's nice.
I think Alex is still a little bit faded in the background, but, he's still there, so maybe we'll see more of him later. And he did start the entire sort of attack against Armani, even though that went quite quick.
I just watched Wilf's face in real time, trying to remember who Alex is. He was like, blue screen. He was making dial-up noises live on the podcast. I want to talk about for me, the crux point of this week's TV, which was the recruitment and the choice to recruit Anna. There's 2 things to say here, right? The first one is the choice itself to recruit. I went into detail on Twitter about this. I put together all the arguments I could think of for recruiting at that point and all the arguments why it'd be a bad idea. And I can't justify recruiting at that point. First of all, recruitment by seduction is a really bad value thing to do because if you recruit, you have a chance to get an extra traitor. We'll come back to that. But then you don't get to murder. If you wait until ultimatum when there's only 1 traitor left, you get to recruit and murder like you did with Kieran. But also, both of them must consider the other traitor to be a sacrificial lamb, right? It's not a team game. We've been over this a lot already. So if you're getting another sacrificial lamb, all you do is have 2 sacrificial lambs who might team up against you. If you're doing it because you want a really good traitor, all you're doing is putting in somebody who can be a threat to you. So recruitment doesn't really work when the traitors can turn on each other and will turn on each other naturally in this game. It doesn't make sense to me why you'd recruit at that point. For me, I've done the groundwork. I really asked myself this question, and I think it was a bad idea to recruit. Then to recruit Anna, who had outwardly said, I will never be a traitor, I think was a really, really a blunder. And maybe the first blunder.
This could have been the first blunder of the Traitors. And I think this would have been had Anna moved a little bit madder about telling everyone she'd been recruited. But she doesn't. And the only thing she does, worse than that, is she finishes the episode going through the risk of yet another murder, which weirdly enough goes against Livy. She goes through that risk with only telling one person, Charlotte, which is, for starters, risky because no matter how well you trust someone, if you only tell one person and it turned out to be a traitor, you've completely killed that storyline. But also, when you show up the next morning being like, hey, you remember 2 nights ago? People could be like, why did you not tell us straight away? I mean...
Yeah, that bird has flown. That's what Fozia said as well. She was like, it's a bit late now.
Is there any value to what she did?
What she tried to use it for was watch and see who changes after the failed recruitment. And she names about 4 or 5 people who stopped attacking her the next day. But it's not a controlled test. It's not a double-blind test. You don't know what would have happened had she not been recruited. Also, she named more people than there could be traitors at this point, I think. I think there are better ways to do it, whether it is to... Okay, so Will, let's do it. At breakfast, if you've turned down a recruitment... one thing to do is to say to the person next to you, you watch those 3 people's faces, and the person to your left, you watch those 3 people's faces, and then you stand up or don't stand up and say, I was recruited, I said no.
And Alex is my girlfriend.
And Alex is my girlfriend. Alex at the end be like, I'm not. Don't say that, baby. I'm not.
It's so funny. But yeah, I'd do the same.
Maybe that. I don't know. Would you do that?
Yeah, I'd just go in. As soon as I walk through the door, I go, can everyone just sit down? Alex is my girlfriend now. I'd literally just say, yeah, exactly that. I'd just say, listen, I was trying to be recruited last night. Even if I said yes, I think I'd do it just for a laugh now. Like if there was another series and I got recruited, I'd go in there. It'd be a really risky
double bluff, but single bluff in this case. But
yeah, well, so one thing I think you could do, right, is you have crumbs. You've got actual biscuit crumbs. So rather than relying on social reads, which I know I'm not very good at, and doing what I said I'd do, stand up, say I was recruited, get people to watch each different person's face. Maybe something better would be to take one person you trust and be like, okay, they tried to recruit me. Can you go round today saying they tried to recruit you and see how people react? Because the traitors will have prepared for you saying they tried to recruit you. They wouldn't have prepared for the wrong person to say they'd been recruited. Maybe doing something like that would at least put the traitors on the run a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, realistically, I think the best and only way you can do this, I mean, there's only so much you can do with a failed recruitment attempt at the end of the day. And a lot of it is going to rely on reading social cues. So the thing I would have done is just stand up, get to the front of the room so I could watch everyone, then sit back down because the producer would have been like, no, sorry, you got to move. That's where the cameras are. and then watch everyone be like, hey, by the way, they tried to recruit me last night and see if I can get a reaction.
Is it time to revisit our predictions, guys?
Yes, I think it is time to revisit our predictions.
Okay, it is time to see who is still remaining in the competition. So, Will, Tyler was your number 1 draft. He was banished in episode 5. You've got Freddie, Anna, and Leon right there in the middle. Nathan's gone, and Francesca. So you've got 4 faithfuls still on your team. Rayan, you've still got your number 1 pick, Lisa, who is guaranteed faithful.
And guaranteed murder.
Guaranteed murder, unfortunately. Kasim banished episode 4. Then you've still got Charlotte and Linda, but Keith murdered episode 2. And then Fozia 6 back in the game. Well done.
Let's go.
So you've got 4 players left, both of you. I'm down to 3. Having lost Dan, my second top pick, banished episode 6 on Marnie and Ellen. I still have my number 1 pick, Mina, and I have Joe, and I have Leanne. Undrafted is down to 3, so no more shame for us. Alex, Alexander, and Jake. In my head, he's called Kyle, but he is Jake. I don't know why he's called Kyle, but when I think, I'm like, Kyle. When Kyle did that, okay, so Jake. All right, cool. So right now, Ryan and Will, you're leading. Your number 1 prediction, Wilf, is gone. So I don't know who feels confident about this. I think it's pretty even right now.
I'm actually quite confident in my group. I think they could still be there by the end of the next episode.
I'm confident.
Yeah, I mean, you one of you has Fozia, one of you has Leon. One of those 2 is dead, and one of them I think is going to be a traitor. So, like, yeah, one of you's about to get a really good slate, and one of you's about to get a really, really weak one.
Well, should we be back in a week to find out which one of us is doing well and which one of us needs to go to jail?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, in that case, we'll be back in a week's time to debrief episodes 7 to 9 of the Traitors UK. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening. I wanted to do a particular thank you to all the lovely comments we've been getting on Spotify, on YouTube, everywhere else.
Legends.
Particular shout out to Lizzie Holden on YouTube, who said that while others try to be funny and intelligent, we were. Thank you very much, Lizzie. Although I think you might have meant to comment this on Paul and Harry's podcast page. You might have got the wrong page. But
hey now, bro. It's right. I doubt they listen to this. It's okay.
It's okay, yeah. It's okay, we still love them. But no, shout out to everyone, honestly, for your comments on social media. We do read them and appreciate them. And if you like the podcast, please tell a friend about it, tweet about it, we'll read it. Leave a comment on our podcast page, please. A like, 5-star review, subscribe, write it and tag on my front door. That's also fine.
I have to say that the general kind of level of commenting and people having opinions and sharing stuff has been really good. I know that at the beginning we started by saying, chill out, guys, it's just a game. But like the conversations that I've been having on Twitter with people and even on the street, people talking about it,
they get it.
I feel like people they're getting more intelligent in terms of understanding about this, and people being strategic. People now understand in the UK that's not villainy, that's just playing the game. So I've been really, really enjoying it. I love our position. It's just being able to watch it and be like, haha, we did this and now you have to do this. But like people are getting cleverer and smarter about watching it too. So well done you, the listener.
Well done, and well done to Ivan. Because of Ivan, right, I'm going to tell you something.
What?
I have had probably about 50 to 60 DMs about the breakfast, people, faithfuls coming in. And now all I do is forward Ivan's video of Lorraine. So I go, Lorraine. I go, Ivan's debunked this, and then send them the video of you on Lorraine. You little
I've been on the Lorraine Kelly show more than Lorraine Kelly has this year.
Oh, God, poor Lorraine.
I love quiche Lorraine.
Quiche Lorraine's been on Lorraine Kelly show more than Lorraine Kelly has this year.
Look, we'll be back next week then for more of these insights and more debunking of the breakfast theory. But in the meantime, my name is Ryan. You can follow me at The Clique.
The Clique.
My name's Will, and you can follow me at Just a Humble Guy that sells mobile phones.
My name's Ivan, and you can follow me at Kusha's Lorraine.
And from all of us here is see you in a week and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, driver.
Bye.